Hey, e-commerce entrepreneurs, welcome to another episode of the Clicks to Riches Show. I'm your host, Martin, and wow, do we have a show for you today. Just in case you haven't heard the news, Printful and Printify, once friendly rivals, announced their merger back in November of 2024, sending shockwaves through the world of POD. When it all went down, I had people reaching out to me from every direction asking me, what does this merger mean? And back then, we couldn't really say much because there simply wasn't much to say. But here we are, half a year or more down the line, and things are starting to get interesting with the recent addition of Printful as a print provider on the Printify network. Today, we will cover all sorts of insider tips on what this means, the impact on your business, and how you can leverage these new developments to your advantage. And here's the most exciting part. While the merger promised more product variety and global reach, the real headline is embroidery. And a bit later, Liz from Printful's YouTube channel is going to join me to break it all down. Stay tuned because Liz and I are going to show exactly how you can leverage Printful on Printify and take part in the embroidery revolution to up your POD game. So trust me, you're not going to want to miss it. All that plus the latest breaking news in the world of print on demand, the latest trends, Printify updates, and we'll be giving away prizes all along the way. Don't go anywhere because the Clicks to Riches show starts right now. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I wasn't lying when I said I was super excited for this episode. I mean, we're going to be covering a lot of interesting topics. There's been a lot of stuff you've been asking about this merger, what that means. We're going to break it all down for you today. But I want to give a quick shout out to my partner, Leah, who will not be joining us today because she is taking some well-deserved time off. So hope you're enjoying yourself wherever you are. But I won't be alone for long because, as I mentioned, I'm going to be bringing on Liz from Printful's YouTube channel, and we're going to be chopping it up, talking about embroidery and everything Printful related. So you're going to have some questions, no problem. As we cover the topics today, please go ahead and put those into the chat as they come to you. No need to hold it until the end or during our right before our dedicated Q&A period. We want to make sure that our moderator Talish can collect those as we go through, and then we will be happily address those during the live Q&A session. So just go ahead and type those into the chat. Give Talish a shout out. And speaking of chat, I mean, we've got people tuning in from everywhere, and I just want to dispel the notion that this is not done live. Folks, we are 100% live, and I'm going to prove it because I'm going to give some shout outs to, let's see, Just a Man, who is joining us from California, so wherever that is on the map, welcome. We've got Star Digitals from Ohio, Michelle Pearson from Indianapolis, Indiana, Eric Eeks Attic from Tennessee, Portland, Oregon, Alex Morgan checking in. I just love seeing how international this is. We got Rakshitha from India, Toronto checking in, Maryland, Baltimore, Wales, and the UK. Wonderful. It's so wonderful to have all you folks here. By the end of today's presentation, you are going to leave with everything you need to know about the new Printful updates and embroidery, so you can apply that to your business to make yourself even more profitable than you are today. Plus, I mentioned prizes. We're going to be giving away prizes left and right today, folks. For those of you that stick around until the end, we're going to be popping a link into the chat to our post-show survey. So when that appears, go ahead and click on that, fill that out for us, and 3 of you will be selected at random to win our grand prize, which is $50 of Printify sales credit and a wonderful, unique, and very rare Clicks to Riches Show t-shirt that you can wear and make your entire neighborhood jealous as you walk down the street. But for that, you have to stick around to the end. But at 3 points during today's conversation, we're going to stop things and give out a coupon code, as we like to do here on the Clicks to Riches Show. So I'm going to ask you to pull out your Printify accounts and have those ready. And those of you that type in, the 3 of you that type in the coupon code the fastest will win $15 of Printify sales credit instantly placed into your account. And what better time than right now to give away our first coupon code, folks? Let's start this episode out with a bang. Go ahead and pull out your Printify accounts and navigate over to the left-hand side where it says Wallet. Click on there to where it says Reward Center, and then find the coupon code box entry area. And the first 3 of you that enter in this coupon code the fastest will win that $15 of Printify sales credit, and you can win up to 3 times today. No limit on how many times you can win. And if you do win, let us know in the chat so we can all celebrate. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, our first coupon code is Broderie. Now that's the French word for embroidery, or at least that's the French word that that Google Translate told me it was. If we have any French speakers joining us today, let me know how close we got there with the French word for embroidery, broderie. But if you did win, go ahead and let us know in the chat so we can all highlight and celebrate you. All right, well, I promised you some headlines, so let's go ahead and cover those, ladies and gentlemen. These are the latest breaking headlines in the world of print on demand, and we're going to be sharing some links to these articles in the chat, but you can also find them in the description of this video if you're watching on replay. This first one comes to us from Shopify. Now, Shopify recently announced that they have partnered with Coinbase and Stripe to enable enable stablecoin payments, and that was done with the USD coin. And what I think is so interesting about this is what it says about where this industry is heading. So Shopify, usually the head that steers the body of the digital commerce industry. So if they are onboarding cryptocurrencies as a method of payment, not only for customers but also for their clients, you're going to see this roll out over multiple platforms. Cryptocurrency certainly not going anywhere. Very excited and happy that this is yet another option to increase the freedom and flexibility for how you would like to do business and how you would like to present your business to your customers. So absolutely wonderful things. I think we'll see more coins, other coins become available as currency and rolled out across multiple sales channels over time. Now this next article is, you may be wondering now, Martin, why are you putting an article about sublimation, the sublimation printing market? Well, what I think is most important about this is what this says about the industry as a whole. Now, these machines are very dollar intensive. I mean, they're very expensive. They require a significant investment. So the companies that employ these machines have to have profitable projections over time and in the future in order to justify these purchases. So what this says is the industry that we have chosen, this print-on-demand industry, is super, super healthy, and it's still growing. And this is evident by what you see on a market level with these sublimation printers. And I think this all goes back to the increased demand for more personalized products and a more sustainable production method, all of which you can take advantage of just by participating in this industry. So this is actually a wonderful development, and I thought I would share that with you. And then finally, now stay with me on this, folks. I wanted to share this one with you because I just found it so interesting. Now, this is Shopify, who came out with a guide to success on Etsy. Okay, I'll say that one more time. This is Shopify, who came out with a guide to success on Etsy. It's like Pepsi telling you how to better enjoy a Coca-Cola. Okay, why would they do such a thing? Well, I think it's to highlight the advantages of multi-channel selling. Now, if you've watched this show before, if you've been to my live Q&A sessions, I like to talk about empire building. And this is exactly what we're talking about here with this article presented by Shopify. Folks, this is how you become one of our top sellers. You create a business on Shopify or on Etsy, for example, and then you take that to its logical conclusion, and then you have to make a decision. Now, do I take the steps to expand this further on this particular sales channel, or do I want to replicate what I'm doing here, make the necessary adjustments, and find new customers on other channels? Specifically, in this case, there's Etsy's marketplace, and then Shopify as a standalone store, competing for two different customer categories. And then as you put these businesses together, connect them all to your Printify account, and get each one rolling from one easily manageable Printify account, this is how you slowly over time build that empire and become one of our top sellers. So go ahead and check that out. I thought it was interesting. Let me know what you think in the comments, if you think Shopify made the right move here, or endorsing their competitor Etsy. But yeah, check it out. Let's take a look at some trends, ladies and gentlemen. First, with products. Now, what I've done here is I have taken out the tried and true winners that are always at the top, you know, your hoodies, your sweatshirts, your t-shirts, and whatnot. And I look for the products that are making moves up and down the charts. And that's what I have. That's what I have selected for you folks here today. And number one with a bullet on this list is the accent mugs. And I have been super surprised with the performance of accent mugs over this last, 8-10 months. They have gained so much ground on the traditional plain white 11-ounce ceramic mug that it is I'm struggling to put my finger on exactly why, other than to say that people are looking for a more supreme option when it comes to the coffee cups or tea mugs that they're buying. There's nothing wrong with plain white mugs, especially if you're competing on price. I mean, you can't do any better than an 11-ounce plain white mug. But it seems to me the customers out there are looking for something with a little panache to it, and that's what the accent mug offers to you. So very excited to see that climbing the charts. It's been on our product profile over time, and we'll probably see it again as we move into the busier time of the year just ahead of us. Okay, and of course posters surging right now, wall tapestries being supported by the wedding industry. And then the velveteen plush blanket, which is another head scratcher why it's selling so well during the warmer months. All I'm telling you is this is what we're seeing, so you can make the right decision that is applicable for your business in considering to adopt these products. Moving right along with trends, let's check in with our friends over at eRank. Now, what I've done here is just pulled the latest trending keywords off of Etsy using eRank's Trend Buzz tool. Again, no big surprises here. Wall art and wall decor gift on the list, just showing how powerful this product segment is. I mentioned it on the last episode of the Clicks to Riches show that, like, pre-pandemic, wall art always dipped during the summer months. Now we don't see that anymore, and it's especially powerful on Etsy. Okay, T-shirt, spelled all one word, vintage, 4th of July, of course, and then Coach making another appearance, announcing the arrival of this particular product category or niche on Etsy. What should you be keeping your eyes on, ladies and gentlemen, in terms of the upcoming sales season? Well, that's exactly what we have compiled here for you. And we got this information from our 2025 marketing calendar, which we'll make available for you right now, also in the description below. Of course, no surprise, Independence Day in the United States on July 4th. That is a big one. There's still some time to take advantage of that. National Video Game Day, if you're on the 8th, if you're selling to gamers, that's very important. But also, Get to Know Your Customers Day on July 17th. Now, why did I pull this one out? Because in the middle of July, it's traditionally one of the less active times of the year in terms of sales, because everyone's out enjoying the sunshine and the summer and things like that. It just stands to reason, okay? But what July 17th, Get to Know Your Customers Day offers you is an opportunity to reach out to them and communicate to them during these low times in the season for you to offer a special offer, a special gift, a special deal, something like that, something to stimulate sales during times when they would otherwise be slow. So it's a great opportunity for you to communicate with your customers. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, I'm happy to announce that on July 31st, I'm going to be sitting down with Christina Umerez for a live event, and we're going to be talking all about Q4 prep. Now, that's preparing yourself for the wild, the crazy, the extremely profitable holiday season. And ladies and gentlemen, I would start having these conversations with my merchants that I work with, like around this time of year, because it's never too soon to start planning for success during the best time in the sales season to be a print-on-demand merchant, and that's the holiday season, okay? Not to mention Halloween right before there, back to school even before that. But folks, planning for the future should be part of your regular workflow. And when it comes to this time of year, you can't start planning too soon. So join me and Christina Umerez on the 31st of next month, and we'll do a deep dive into how you can start preparing for success. So, ladies and gentlemen, I hear you asking me, Martin, what is new at Printify? And I'm so glad you asked, because I am super excited to announce the following, because it's something that we have been clamoring for. It's something you've been asking for quite a while, and finally, the day has arrived. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to announce that Personalization is now available in the Printify pop-up store. It's absolutely wonderful development. It's part of our commitment to making the pop-up store even more useful and applicable to how you want to do business. And now we've unlocked the ability for you to fulfill personalized orders with the pop-up store. It's an absolutely wonderful process, very straightforward. Despite your order fulfillment settings, any orders that are created with a personalization aspect will remain on hold in your account. account for you to make the necessary changes and details, and then add it to your order fulfillment flow once those changes have been made. It's an excellent way for you to take advantage of one of the major superpowers of this business, being able to offer personalized products. And now you can do that for free on the Printify pop-up store. I think it's pretty cool. And again, it's one of those things that you guys have been asking for a very, very long time. And expect more developments on that. So any of the news stories that we covered, any of the products that we talked about have any particular impact on you, you can let us know in the chat, or, excuse me, you can join me for one of my live Q&A sessions that I mentioned just a little bit ago. We're going to pop in the link to sign up. They are for free for everyone on the Sellers Club. It's not going to cost you a dime. Come join me in my home studio. Let's talk about the things that are important to you. Use the code JOINSELLERS2025 when signing up for the Sellers Club to get access to everything the Sellers Club has to offer for an entire month, including mentorship programs, live events with those same mentors, POD courses, stuff designed to get you up and running as quickly as possible, and take part in the awesome community that is the Sellers Club. So join in today. Join me for my live Q&As on Mondays and Wednesdays. I'll see you there. But ladies and gentlemen, we came here to talk about something very specific, and that is the recent development of Printful appearing as a print provider on the Printify network. What does that mean for you? And that's exactly what we're going to explore today. So let me just bring you up to speed with the lay of the land as it stands currently. Well, first of all, the merger was announced back in November, and ever since then, we've been working together to see exactly how we can provide both merchant communities with maximum value, because both brands will be operating separately for the time being under one company under one company structure, but each brand will be operating as its own entity, Printful and Printify. And they're starting this relationship with us on our platform by bringing in 38 products, which will expand very, very soon into more products and more product categories, and as well as offering what I think is the main advantage of Printful being on the platform, and that, ladies and gentlemen, hands down is embroidery. Okay, the fact that we can now offer Printful embroidered products on the Printify platform, I think, is an absolute game changer, and I'll tell you a little bit about that in a second. But I just put up here a few of my favorite embroidered products, like this Columbia fleece jacket. I mean, that's something you would find at a high-end store for a pretty penny, and now you're able to offer that with a customized design to your customers, as well as the Champion unisex packable jacket. This is just kind of my style. I really enjoy this, but this is the kind of product and product design that you can level up to. I think it's absolutely awesome. But the number one product on embroidery, hands down, it's gonna be hats, and we're going to be exploring that a little bit today. In fact, when I used to work with our big merchants and we didn't have embroidered products, or we had subpar embroidered products, I would just openly tell them, well, if you're looking for the best hat on the market, go to Printful. And what's cool, like today, like I don't have to feel bad about telling anybody that, because now we're married and we're part of the same family, and it's beautiful. But yeah, hats, absolutely love them. We're going to go over those a little bit later today. But to help me do this, please allow me to introduce our guest for today. It's going to be Liz joining us from the Printful YouTube channel as she comes into the studio. Liz, it's an absolute pleasure to have you joining us today. First of all, thank you, and how you feeling today?
I'm feeling fantastic. It's been so long since I've been on this channel right here. What has it been, 6 months, 7 at this point?
Yeah, and we have a lot more to talk about, because when you were first on the channel, everything was brand new. People were wondering, what does this mean? And at that time, we just didn't have much to say. But that's all changed today. But let me just ask you, Liz, think about this time last year. Would you even imagine that we would be sitting here at the same table, staring into the same camera?
I feel like if somebody said that, it would only ever be a joke. It would only ever be just kind of no way in hell, this is maybe, when hell freezes over, this is what's going to happen. But that goes to show, never think that something is impossible. The impossible is always possible, and sometimes it's even better than you would have ever thought.
Well, wonderful. Well, Liz, let's start by addressing a few of the frequently asked questions, just kind of get those out of the way, and then we'll move on with the rest of our discussion. How does that sound?
Okay. Sounds good.
All right, so First of all, can I get Printful products cheaper through Printify? That's one I hear a lot.
Yeah, I can imagine exactly why people would be asking that. So the way that it works is on the two platforms, you might see two different price tags, but that doesn't mean that the cost of the actual products that you're going to incur at the end of the process is going to be different. There's shipping costs that go into it. There's digitization fees. There's different subscription fees that different platforms have. So like at the end, the cost is going to be the same, but you might see different pricing
Right.
in some places.
Right. So the journey to get to the price may be different, but once you get to the final price, you're ended up with the same number.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes.
Wonderful. All right. Question number 2. What does this mean for the future of the Printify catalog? Well, I think I can answer this one. It's getting bigger and it's getting better, right?
Exactly. And on top of that, the fantastic thing to note right now is that not only has it gotten better, but there is this like implicit promise in this that it is going to continue to get bigger and better.
Very, very well said. So let's talk about prices. Would this have any effect on Printify prices?
And no.
No, absolutely not.
Why would
We
it?
can just answer that shortly and quickly. No, it's not going to affect your prices. Okay. So what about my preferred print providers? Are they going to be staying on the platform?
Absolutely, right? Like we are just another print provider on the Printify platform that has so many fantastic print providers. The benefit of the Printify platform is that there are so many different print providers to choose from with different offers and different strengths and different locations and stuff like that. And while we are the best of friends, it doesn't mean that we're going to be the only print provider or that it's going to in any way affect the choices that you have for you.
Right, and it stands to reason. I mean, we merged with Printful, who is, in essence, a print provider. It stands to reason that over time, they would start showing up on the platform, and well, that day is today. Speaking of that, so let's talk about Printful as it relates to Printify Choice. Does this mean that Printify Choice equals Printful?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
So the main reason is that Printify Choice is a fairly complex kind of system and feature that ensures that at any given time, you know what the best choice is for you. The way that it works is based on the amount of supply that different print providers have at different times, the demand that they're facing, different like economic factors that are going on in the world, the shipping destinations, and though like sometimes Printful will be the choice through Printify Choice, but it's definitely not, the only thing.
Exactly. I mean, we've got, I don't know, several dozen fulfillment providers all around the world. So it just stands to reason that if all the boxes are checked, it will go through Printify. But if another provider can offer better service or quicker delivery to your customer or is closer to their shipping address, that's the one that Printify Choice is going to go with. It just expands the network, gives you more international reach. So it's just better for everybody. Okay. All right. Speaking of this international reach, I think it's important to notice to talk about what this means for Printful joining the platform, because there is an exponential reach that you can now take advantage of either through Printify Choice or through Printful as a provider to reach international customers now, and you can do that from one listing, which is kind of revolutionary from the way we used to have to do it before. It's just easier, it's more streamlined, and gives you an opportunity to expand into other markets, which I think is beautiful.
Exactly, and I personally love the fact that through this kind of like partnership, something that Printful is able to do for Printify customers is help expand the offering in different countries. Because so many of our print locations, our facilities, are very much driven by exactly the same quality control standards, exactly the same equipment, so much kind of integration between the different locations around the world, meaning that you are able to feel all that much safer with fulfilling your products around the world.
Yeah, and suffice it to say, it's just easier to do business internationally now. So, and that's again another brick in building that POD empire that you can take advantage of. Speaking of expansion, it also this new development of Printful being on our network has allowed us to expand the opportunity to present you and your customers with branding opportunities. Now, this is super important during like high volume seasons, like the upcoming Q4 holiday season that's going to be here sooner than you can even imagine. Gives us more capacity to fulfill these orders with fewer delays, which is going to mean you can fulfill more orders and have happier customers that come back the rest of the year to do business with you.
Exactly.
Moving right along, let's go ahead and switch gears and talk about the subject of the day, which is embroidery, okay? Folks, we've recently made some advancements to our embroidery here on the platform. First of all, by offering you larger print areas. Now, does that mean you have to make use of the entire print area? No. But it's there if you need to. It just basically broadens the canvas with which you get to design on certain products. So a bigger print area just means more freedom of expression when it comes to your designs. Also, there's some developments in the text editor as well that allows you to create super simple and quick designs using the already pre-designated 15 colors that are available for embroidery. And there's going to be more options coming later with more products like sweatshirts and hoodies and things like that. So plenty more to come down the pipe, but this is a great place to start. And in fact, I think you actually brought us some samples to take a look at that I would love to show to the audience.
Indeed I did. So I come bearing gifts, believe it or not. I'm trying to like not knock everything over, but what I've brought you is a hat and another hat and another hat. And I brought you 5 hats.
Okay, I'm glad you did, because that's exactly what I wanted to focus on, because in my opinion, this is the strongest embroidery product in which there's a perfect mix of it's popular, it's in demand, and you can provide a stunning product in response. I mean, just look at the quality of the print on these hats.
Yeah, I made these designs quite quickly, and what I personally love with embroidery, if you can kind of like see it a bit more here, these letters have outlines, making them so crisp and so clean against this white background. Truly beautiful. And there's a bit more here. So this one is a gnarlier hat.
I like this one. This one's more my style because it's a bit distressed. This is the distressed vintage dad cap, right?
Exactly. And surprise, it has Velcro on the back.
Right. And look, you're able to even put some embroidery on the back here.
Yeah,
okay.
And a lot of different placements as well, like across hats in general.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know this guy? Do you know who Tim is? Have you ever met Tim?
I have not met Tim personally, but I bet we're about to find out.
Yeah, so like if anyone is here who has watched anything on the Printful channel in regards to live streams, we've been creating products kind of like in real time, and this cat right here, his name is Tim, and the audience was so excited to make him into a punk that in the following live stream, a month later, we decided to oblige. So he has a mohawk and an earring and a bunch of stuff. So if you want to learn how to embroider, you can go over there and not embroider, but design for embroidery. You can go in there.
Yeah, and that's a great opportunity for us to plug your channel. Folks, if you haven't had the chance, do yourself a favor, go over to the Printful side of things, check out what they've been doing over there, because a lot of the information is very applicable to anybody working with Printify. Just because it comes from Printful doesn't mean it's not useful information that you can take advantage of. So exactly. Check it out and subscribe.
It's a cozy time. I think you're going to enjoy it. Okay, what do you think in general?
I like it. Now, give me one of these beanies, because I like these. Okay, we're moving out of the warmer weather right now, but just look at what you're able to come up with in terms of colors, and just look at that. That's absolutely beautiful. I mean, you can imagine how well you could sell some of these during the Christmas season with a little personalization or something like that, especially during Christmas when the demand for embroidery significantly increases. Mm-hmm. Okay. But absolutely wonderful stuff. And my suggestion is start playing around with this stuff. Order some samples so you can get it in your hand and really get that tactile sensation of what this embroidery is like in the hand. Okay, and because that's exactly the same experience that your customers are going to have as well. So it's important to understand that.
Precisely. Okay, I'm going to put some of these away, but let me know if you need to see anything about it again.
No problem. Well, let's while you're doing that, let's keep talking embroidery, because we have some stuff planned for you in the near future, folks, in terms of getting you up to speed with embroidery so you can start employing these products. First of all, on June 24th, we're going to be doing an embroidery workshop with mentor Sarah from the Sellers Club. That'll be for free to watch on the Sellers Club. You can check that out just in a matter of days next week. And July 17th, there's going to be an embroidery masterclass by the aforementioned Cristina Umeres. And then in July, we're going to be rolling out some features to help you to facilitate the personalization process with embroidered products. And then in August, we're going to be rolling out some pre-digitized fonts for you to use in the text editor. So all sorts of stuff to keep your eye on the horizon. We got plenty more to come when it comes to embroidery.
Can I just say that those pre-digitized fonts is a dream come true. So many hat designs, especially in embroidery, are font-based and just like text-based. And to know for sure that a font is going to work and you don't have to worry and measure every single little gap in between the letters, it's a blessing.
Exactly. So let's explore what we're talking about here in terms of designing and digitization and things like that, because I think that's important for our merchants to understand. First, let's talk about digitization. We've mentioned it a few times already. What exactly is digitization, and what does that mean for embroidered products?
Right. So you're going to have to cut me off if I get a little too into the nitty-gritty,
Okay.
but I'm going to do my absolute best to explain how this works, especially if you've never created an embroidered product. You got to know this. So I'll kind of show this for you as a little example. See this line as a design when you're designing in whatever, you're using Canva, Adobe Express, whatever it is, you will just see a line. If you were to draw it on paper, it would be a line. But for an embroidery machine, it kind of has to go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth with this very particular color. It's a very straightforward design, but the machine needs to know exactly where to go and how close to get to the next hole, to know exactly how to embroider this specific design. And the same goes for letters, especially right here. They are kind of filled and then there's a border around them. What is necessary for this to happen is basically a set of instructions. So it's not just the way that a printer would just take an image and put it on there. The embroidery machine needs to know exactly what color to put in which spot and at what particular time to make sure that the threads are tight enough, to make sure that the design looks as close as possible to the original. Transferring a design into a digitized, file, a digitized set of instructions is tricky, and this is why this process is so important, because you can't just, embroider a design without digitizing it.
Yeah, and it's basically taking your design and putting it in a format in which this machine can interpret, because the embroidery machine operates completely different than a traditional DTG printing machine. There are limitations to what it's able to do. It's important to familiarize yourself with those limitations so that when you're designing, you know exactly what it can and it cannot do. Okay, and it's important to note that the digitization process can take up to 36 hours, and that's in addition to production time. So what that means is the first time you submit a design for digitization, it's going to have to go through that process first before it can even enter the production cycle. But the good news is, once you have submitted a design for digitization, you don't have to digitize it again. That is, unless
you change its size or you change its color or you change anything about the actual design.
Exactly. Even a tiny alteration in the design signifies to our system that this is an entirely new product and this design needs to be sent for digitization, even if it's the most minute adjustment. So that's just something you have to be aware of. And right now, digitization for Printify products is still free. Will that last forever? Probably not. So if you are thinking about getting into embroidery, now's the time to do it, at least to get those designs into the digitization process so you don't have to pay for it later.
Exactly.
All right, so let's go ahead and move on and talk a little bit more about design for embroidery. Because we mentioned a little bit about it there, Liz, when we were talking about, the design elements and things like that. But what specifically about designing should our audience keep in mind?
Well, the best thing to do is to look at all the guidelines and to look at the guide. But the simplest way to think about it is to constantly remember that it is not printing, it is embroidery, right? So it is kind of a much more linear process than, just putting some sort of shape onto paper. That way you can think about it and be like, okay, I shouldn't make tiny details because it's actual thread and it's not just ink going onto paper. You shouldn't put those details super close together because an embroidery machine can make a mistake and can make them just like, and even the tiniest shift can, muddle your design and change it a lot. It's a very like physical process. The needle is moving very quickly. Those things can happen, meaning that you should follow the guidelines to make sure that you can get the best outcome. This also goes for, super, super thin letters, anything that you would think would not work super well if you were just embroidering with thread over and over again.
Yeah, you just have to consider the limitations of the embroidery machine. I mean, stick with simple design, stay away from super thin elements. I remember working with a merchant years ago who was digitizing her designs for embroidery, and we were going through them, and there were so many that we had to eliminate because although the core of the image is beautiful, like once you would get to some of the outer designs, the elements started to get super thin. We just simply couldn't digitize those, so we either had to rework the design or simply eliminate them. So just be mindful of that. And what we've done is that we have put together an embroidery guide. We'll pop that link into the chat. It's also in the description, outlining all these nuances and the vagaries of designing, outlining what is necessarily what's different between the DTG process and the embroidery process, just so you understand the ins and outs, so that when you do send a design for embroidery, it'll be accepted and the process won't be delayed. We also have a few very helpful videos that we've put together here on the Printify side of things, ladies and gentlemen. Very surprised looking grandma, although very handsome looking grandma on the video on the left can help illuminate part of the process for you. I mean, whether you're getting your stuff from Printify or Printful, I mean, the point being is that this information is out there, and we're going to keep providing it for you so that so you have everything you need to get up and running with embroidery.
That grandma video is perhaps my favorite video on the channel
Well,
ever.
thank you, Liz. All right. Well, folks, click on it, watch it. It's in the description as well. Let's see if we can get those views up to 5 million by the end of the week. What do you say? All right, folks. And while you're at it, subscribe. Okay. So great. So our audience loves embroidery. They've picked out, they know how to design. How the heck do you market these products in today's market? Okay. So let's go over some embroidery marketing tactics. First of all, it's important to understand who your audience is. Who's out there buying embroidery. And based on our research, this is who is. First of all, the premium shoppers. I mean, it's a premium service with which you can charge a premium price. That means your customers are are expecting a premium experience. That's exactly what embroidery delivers. Also, it's great for like niche communities, like sports teams and clubs, or like bachelorette parties or things like that. And also, like, it's great for corporate merch. Like if you have a business and you want to project an air of knowledge that you are and your employees are the place to go for your particular service.
It looks classy.
It looks classy. It just looks classy. That is also something to consider when you're looking for your target customer. And also gift buyers. Now this is super important, especially now that we have the holiday season like literally on the horizon. People are out there looking for cool stuff to buy for people, and giving somebody an embroidered product. That's one way. That's one way to really up your social status at Christmas time.
That, and also there's two things to consider here. So one, it's very nice to do also like maybe a personalized embroidered product with some, initials embroidered in there. That's super cute. But there is a great reason why when it comes to the gifting holidays, embroidery gets super popular, is because people are more inclined to get something nicer as a gift than they would for themselves. So it's just a way to kind of like show, oh, I care about you a lot. Here's an embroidered hat.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought that up, because I was talking with somebody the other day here about personalization as it relates to embroidery, and I think that is going to be a major aspect of selling embroidered products, because we actually have quite a few merchants that are selling personalized embroidery products right now, and that process is going to improve. I mean, we mentioned in July we're going to be rolling out some new features for that, so it's definitely something to keep in mind, folks. Mm-hmm. Let's go ahead and keep this rolling and talk about how to build a strong value proposal. Folks, if you've been watching the show, we pound down on value proposals and perceived value in order to sell your products. Embroidered products are no exception. And just quickly, Value proposition is the case that you make to your customer as to why they should purchase your products versus at your set price versus keeping that money in their pocket or spending it with your competition. And here, it's just super important to build that value up in your customer's mind to the point where they're better off buying your product versus keeping that money in their pocket. And you do this by by marketing it as a premium product and emphasizing the durability of it, okay? This isn't a print on a shirt. This is actually fibers woven into a garment, okay? They're there to stay, and regardless of the amount of wear and tear you put on it, it's going to retain its premium look.
I mean, don't sandpaper your embroidery, but generally.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, I'm talking normal use here, okay?
Yeah.
If you're buying an embroidered hat just to sit there with a piece of sandpaper, I mean, you've got more things to deal with, okay? But then highlight the personalization of this process as well. I mean, we mentioned that I think this is going to be a really big portion of this particular market, and I stand by that. I'll be sure to bring you folks information on that once it starts to come in. If you are going to display this and look at the picture that you see on your screen, show that texture with the visuals. You can see right here. You can see how the light plays off that Surf Coast design on this hoodie. And what that's going to do, either consciously or subconsciously with your customer, they're going to recognize that this design has some heft, it has some weight to it, okay? And that's going to justify them paying a little bit extra for it because they're receiving something a little bit extra.
And this specific thing is one of my favorite pieces of advice to give sellers is this is the biggest reason to order samples. Samples are fantastic for different reasons. I mean, A, you get to see what your product looks like. B, you get to use it in like giveaways and stuff like that. But to me, taking maybe close-up custom photos, maybe with like a slightly custom setting all around it, is going to make your shop look so much more premium immediately, right? Mockups are fantastic, and mockups have come such a long way to make your products look incredible, but nothing beats that super close-up, realistic, very true to life actual photo.
Excellently put. And folks, if you are offering embroidery for the first time, or perhaps maybe your audience isn't familiar with embroidery, it's important for you to bring them up to speed on the value there because they may not understand it right away. So you may have to educate your audience and just let them know that, hey, the reason I'm charging a little bit extra for this is because you're getting a little bit extra. This is what you can expect from the experience, and this is why that price is justified. So don't sleep on the fact that you have to make the case as to why embroidery is the right choice for your customers.
And importantly, don't undercharge as well. So not only is your reasoning going to support your pricing, but your pricing has to support your reasoning. When people are seeing a very, very cheap price for something that should be a bit more premium, and people understand that embroidery is going to cost a little bit more, they're going to assume something's wrong with it. There's no reason why I should be buying something as cheap as that.
Very well put. Ladies and gentlemen, I mean, when it comes to embroidery, you can do no better than what we're offering here on the Printify platform via Printful. So it's a wonderful opportunity for you to start offering this now. Get yourself ready for the holiday season when the demand for this stuff really explodes.
And there's actually quite a few people with like embroidery experience in the chat. I saw somebody say that they have 20 years of experience in embroidery. So I'm just super excited for the Q&A later when we get to address like the nitty-gritty. Whether you're a beginner or you're super, super, super experienced, go drop your questions. We are going to cover a bunch of stuff.
I love it. And if we can't answer the questions in the Q&A, we'll just pull that person off the chat and ask them to answer it with all that experience. Yeah. But wonderful. All right, put your questions into the chat. We're going to switch gears to our Q&A section. Put those in right now. Our moderator, Talish, will go ahead and collect those, and we'll be happy to address those in a second. But ladies and gentlemen, I would like to give away just a little bit more money. What do you say, Liz?
I feel like everybody's excited about that.
I feel you are correct. Well, folks, I'm going to ask you to pull out your Printify accounts once again and prepare to enter today's second coupon code. So on the left-hand side where it says Wallet, click there, click on where it says Reward Center, and find the coupon code entry box and prepare to enter today's second coupon code. What will it be? Well, that will be that's yet to be seen. But the three of you that type it in the fastest will instantly win $15 of Printify sales credit. If you're not fast enough, you'll see a notice that says this coupon code doesn't exist. That's because you were a little bit too slow. We only created 3 of them. But don't worry, we'll have one more opportunity. And if you do win, again, let us know in the chat so we can give you a shout out. Bordado, spelled just like this. Now you're asking me, Martin, what the heck is bordado? Well, that is the word embroidery in Spanish. All you Spanish speakers out there, let me know how close I got. I know I butchered the pronunciation, but according to Google Translate, when I put in the word embroidery and I ask what it means in Spanish, they say bordado. So yeah. Wonderful. All right. Yes, I should have paid more attention in Spanish class. That's on me. But ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and answer some of your questions. Thank you to everyone that submitted their questions. Liz, what are the folks out there saying?
So let me just pull these up. Let me see. Okay, so we got quite a few, actually. I didn't expect to get this many. And let me get the first question. Where is it? Okay. So it's Champagne Hand, I think. And the question is work being done to make the Canadian Printful locations available as a standalone provider choice? I would love to be able to use Printful's catalog and services, but currently cannot.
Ooh.
So
what have you to say about Canada?
What I what I have to say about Canada specifically for this, I don't know if we're trying to add specifically the Canadian facilities to the Printify Print Provider network, but what you can always do is you can go and fulfill your products on the Printful side of things if you want to sell specifically in Canada. If this is an actual like roadblock that you are facing right now, I'm sure there are workarounds. If there is a technical issue that you're running into, our customer support team is always there to help you. So depending on like what issue you're actually facing, either if you really, really want the Canadian Printful locations available on the Printify network, you might need to wait. I cannot speak to whether or not that is being done currently.
Well, I would love to see that happen. Whether or not it does is yet to be seen. But if it is on the roadmap, let's hope it happens sooner rather than later.
Yes, fingers crossed. Good
question. And yeah, I love talking doing business in Canada. So if you want to talk doing business in Canada, join me for my live Q&As. Okay. All right. How about another question?
Another question. This one's probably going to be for you because you're the Etsy person. I'm more of the Shopify person. So the question is from Sardine with 2 R's.
Sardine.
Yeah, okay. Like very piratey. So the question is, when Etsy bans things for sale that you offer, does it show up as not eligible for sale on Etsy right away? I know they've been changing a lot of things lately.
Yeah, well, what I do know is we announced last week that Etsy is going to be dealing with these kind of issues on a listing by listing basis in the very near future, rather than on a store-wide basis. So whatever information I give you right now, it's about to change. So in the future, in the very near future, when this happens, you're going to get a notice that this particular listing has been affected. So you know exactly what to deal with, what to reach out to Etsy about, and hopefully you can get your resolution solved faster. So that's how it's going to be in the future.
Okay, so the next question, and I personally love this question, and you'll see why. So it says, the garden porch. Coming from 20 years in the embroidery industry, we found our 20-year expert.
20 years, wonderful. Hey, garden porch, good to see you.
Is it possible for us to send our own digitized files? Okay, the answer is no. But for a very, very good reason. I understand exactly why you would want to be able to send your own digitized files if you already have them for your designs, right? Like it doesn't make sense to like wait extra time or pay extra for a digitization, but we are very, very concerned about quality control. So we have very specific print area sizes, very specific machines that we work with, particular threads, particular everything. And to make sure that you get the best outcome, we are absolutely set on making sure that we create the instructions for our machines. We know them best. We know exactly how to create it to make sure that your outcome is good, to not create waste, to not like try it again and again and then figure out, oh, something was wrong, that kind of thing. So like, no, we're not trying to take on the custom outside external digitized files just because we want to be confident that whatever design you submit is going to look good. And I understand that it must be frustrating with like 20 years of experience to be like, but I know how to digitize a file. I have these things. But it's a very, very rare thing for an externally digitized file to actually come up with a good outcome in the end. So the answer is no, unfortunately, but I totally understand where you're coming from.
Yeah, and I bet you with all that experience, you're going to have no problems designing on the Printify platform and having your designs go through the digitization process with no issues. Exactly. So congratulations on your 20 years in embroidery. Thank you for coming over to Printify. You won't be disappointed.
Okay, so the next question from Aline Mantovani, I think. If I'm butchering your name, you can feel free to bash me in the chat, but I cannot. So, are these embroidery items available on the Printify catalog, or do I need to sign in on Printful to be able to access these embroidery items? So, both the ones that you saw here, like all the hats, I don't know, I can kind of try to. There's a bunch of hats. And also the stuff that you saw in the slides here, those are all available in the Printify catalog.
Exactly. You can source them right now, find them in the Printify catalog. We even have a dedicated catalog section on the left-hand side if you click on the drop-down menu on catalog for embroidered products. Or just type embroidery into the search bar at the top and it'll automatically filter out the embroidered products for you.
Yeah, and if you want to know specifically the 38 products that are currently available to be fulfilled by Printful on the Printify platform, you can go into the catalog and filter by print provider and just look at the Printful stuff.
Yeah, because Printful isn't just offering us embroidered products. That's just what I wanted to focus on today because I think those are the most impactful. Mm-hmm. But there's like a heavyweight t-shirt and all kinds of other stuff for you to explore with more stuff coming soon. Okay.
Right, so we have True Star, but True is spelled Treu. I guess. Will it be easy to bring in everything in my Printful account?
I'm not sure if I understand the question.
Me neither.
Well, I'll tell you what. Well, you're not going to be able to connect your Printful account directly to your Printify account. That functionality is not available. Mm-hmm. But if we're talking about like if you set up a store and you start a new one, or you want to transfer over those existing products to your new store, yeah, we can do that super easily. We have a copy products feature. You can do it either on an entire store basis, copy them all over at once, or you can do them on a listing by listing basis. I'm not sure if that's what you're asking, but hopefully one of those two answers hits the mark.
That, and also something that you should realize is because those products are the same and because we're fulfilling them, the design files that you already know work for the products are going to work whether you create them on the Printify side of things or just directly on Printful's website.
Very well said.
So either way, I want to say easy, yes. Bulk transfer of products, probably not. But I don't know, maybe eventually.
Maybe eventually. Yeah, who knows?
Okay, we've got a question from You Got This with Coach Jen. I wanted to read that out as like
You got this with
slogan.
Coach Jen.
That's incredible.
Cool. Hi, Jen.
So it says, can it handle multiple colors for embroidery?
I mean, yes, you have 15 colors that you're able to choose from. I mean, it'd be one heck of a large embroidery machine if we offered you every single color under the sun. But I mean, 15 colors, I mean, that's enough for you to accomplish most, if not all, of your design needs.
Yeah, and a big tip, which is something that I wasn't doing when I was first designing for embroidery, is I was designing something first and then looking at the thread colors and changing them in the design after and being like, oh, this doesn't look good. I wanted more colors. That's because you've already kind of set your mind on the color that doesn't exist as embroidery thread. So the best tip is to pull up the 15 colors, the exact, color codes, and start designing with that, and then you're gonna realize that it's not actually as limiting as you might have felt.
Sure, and it's super easy in our product creator for when you're creating these embroidered products because you basically have only those 15 colors to work with, so it makes it super easy. It eliminates all that guesswork.
Yeah. Okay,
I think we have time for like 2 more questions.
Ooh, okay. How do we choose? And then.
Only 2 good ones. I want the 2 best questions that are left. No exceptions.
Okay, so this is such high pressure. I'm so sorry, guys, if I don't pick your question. Okay, let's see. Dawn LA Flow 23. Does my embroidery design have to be digitized first, or is it just good practice?
Well, yeah, it has to be digitized first. The design file has to be turned into into a file that the embroidery machine can work with, and it simply can't do that in its normal format, in the format in which you submit it. So it has to go through that process. But the process is free for now. So all you have to do is submit your design. Hopefully it passes. If not, we'll let you know. You can make the necessary adjustments, send it again. Boom, there you go. And you never have to have it digitized again.
Yeah, and there is one more question I've decided to choose here. So I want you to answer this. I can't talk about it, but I feel like you're the more guru.
All right,
here
let's see.
for this. Okay, so it's from Vivian, and can you talk more about branding? I'd love my customer to have an entire branding experience with the packaging.
Ooh, okay, yes, branding. So, okay, I love this question. I love talking branding. It's super in my wheelhouse. Now, with the branding options that we offer you that have been recently expanded with the addition of Printful as a print provider, you have a unique opportunity to provide a comprehensive experience to your customer and really, really solidify your brand in your customer's mind. We're talking neck labels, we're talking gift messaging, things like that. Package inserts. Now, at the very least, folks, you should be giving some serious thought to putting a package insert into every order in which a package insert can be placed. It's literally pennies. If you're with Printify, if you have a Printify Premium subscription, it's only 10 cents per order. And it's a great way for you to communicate with your customer, because this is how we have those conversations with our customers. Mm-hmm. We have them through our mock-up images, the copy that we use, through the experience they have when they receive their product. And a package insert, you can include so much information on there. At the very least, it should be a thank you. Thank you for supporting small businesses, for a small business. If you have any issues, here's how to reach me. Elevate that customer experience. You can also put in coupon codes or QR codes to take to your social media or for additional discounts.
And you get repeat purchases that way,
exactly.
Which is good for you.
for the cost of a dime,
mm-hmm.
10 cents. Okay, that 10 cents is not going to throw off anybody's profit margins, okay? Even at scale. And the returns are definitely worth it. So, but on this branding issue, the actual first episode of the Clicks to Riches show over a year ago, we did on branding. And we brought in Jay D'Souza, and we talked about how he employs branding on his products, on basically every single product that he sells, just to elevate the experience. Check that out in the live section of our YouTube page, along with all of the other past episodes of the Clicks to Riches show.
Yes.
So great question. That's a great one for us to go out on, folks. Mm-hmm. Thank you to everyone that submitted your questions. Apologies if we didn't get to yours, but if you want to keep this conversation going, you can always join me at one of my live Q&A sessions, and we can chop it up. Mm-hmm. All right. So before we say goodbye, folks, I want to give away just a little bit more money, because I love giving away money that is not mine. So I'm going to ask you to pull out your Printify accounts once again and prepare to enter today's third and final coupon code. Although it won't be the last opportunity you have to win, it is the last coupon code. So left-hand side, wallet, click there, then click on Reward Center from the drop-down menu. Find the coupon code entry box and prepare to enter today's third coupon code. And just a little asterisk here. Now, I misspelled this coupon code. I'm just going to come out and tell you.
Oh no!
So you have to pay super close attention to the spelling, because I got it wrong and I didn't bother fixing it because I don't want to make it too easy for you folks. Okay? So here it is. Our third and final coupon code is. Well, what I tried to say was pop-up personalize. What I actually wrote was poop personalize. Okay, so I don't know. Take that for what it's worth, ladies and gentlemen. But first three of you that enter this correctly, as it is spelled there, into the coupon code entry box will win $15 of Printify sales credit. Shout out to all the winners today. Congratulations. But we'll have one more opportunity to win at the end of our show. So stick around, because we're going to be giving away our grand prize opportunity a little bit later. But let's wrap things up with our action plan, folks. Now, this is how you take the information that we have presented to you today and apply it to make you and your business more profitable. And first of all, it starts with just starting starting your journey with the embroidery revolution. Super high demand right now, folks. Start designing. Simple is the key. High impact text, logos, or embroidery, and digitization is still free. These are like the salad days of embroidery, and you need to take advantage of it while you still can. Okay. And then once you have digitized these orders, you've got your samples, you're making your images, and it comes time, you can scale with confidence with Printify and Printful.
Yeah, and before you do that, and once you start your journey, another thing on your action plan should be really considering how you should design with embroidery in mind. So go read the embroidery guide that we've got for you linked in the description, and make sure that what you're doing is meant for something that is embroidered. So don't do super tiny details. Don't do something that is going to be laying thread on top of thread on top of thread. Don't do semi-transparencies, maybe distress stuff. There's a lot of stuff that is not gonna come out as well as you might expect. So just make sure that you're designing with that in mind.
Right, and keep seasonality and those particular target niches that we covered earlier top of mind, because those are going to be your go-to areas to find customers looking for embroidery and with enough money to pay for that premium experience.
Mm-hmm. And last but not least, remember, embroidery is premium. People know that it's premium. You should be telling them and reminding them that it's premium, and you should be pricing them as premium. So there's durability involved. This is not going to come off as easily as a print would. But then there's also the tactile feeling of it, the classy look, the cleanliness of it.
Let's go with it.
Yeah, one of those is right. And so many of these things really signal to somebody even before they buy the item, okay, this is a more premium product. Especially if you're taking the time to take more custom photos, especially if you're taking the time to describe the embroidery in question in your listings. So be very serious about presenting this as a premium item and pricing it as such.
And folks, the addition of Printful to the Printify network is more than embroidery, although that's what I'm most excited about, especially hats. It's more than that. It's new products coming online for you to source and make available to your customers, and the ability for you to scale your business and do business and target other markets internationally. This is, I think, a wonderful opportunity for everybody when you get to that level to when it makes sense. I think for sure we'll see developments on this, making it easier to do business internationally. But just this little addition just revolutionized the way business is done internationally on Printify. Super excited that we can now take advantage of it as merchants. Really, the sky is the limit. This is how you build your empire, folks. All right, folks. Thank you so much. I'm going to end today's discussion with a little bit of an inspirational story, and that's why I'm talking about George McConnell here. Now, George is one of our mentors on the Sellers Club. I've had the opportunity to chat with him. He's a super effervescent, happy guy. If you are a member of the Sellers Club, do yourself a favor. Check out his live events. Check out his courses. He comes from a very unique and interesting background because, when he started in business, he failed 9 times in a row until he found his way to print on demand, and he started with a $100 investment and made $280,000 in his first year.
Whoa.
Want to know how he did it? Well, you can either join him on the Sellers Club, read the article that we're putting into the chat right now about his inspirational story. But just know that he did this through a combination of mastering Etsy and Facebook ads, as well as collecting, interpreting, and making data-driven decisions. For a deeper dive on this, you can join me and George for a long-form interview segment that we're calling Sellers Club Live, that will be broadcast on our Facebook group POD Rockstars in the very near future. So sit down with us, chop it up, and learn a little bit more about what makes George so special and why he is such an inspiration. And who knows, folks, maybe one day we could feature you as part of our inspirational stories. Well, ladies and gentlemen, one more invite for you to join me at my live Q&A before we say goodbye today. Mondays and Wednesdays, I do them 100% free, 100% interactive, hosted on the Sellers Club. Use promo code JOINSELLERS2025. Sign up, get your first month free, get access to all the wonderful stuff that's available on the Sellers Club, from one-on-one mentorship groups, courses and boot camps, and taking part in this wonderful community that is the Sellers Club, and unique contests and things that we run on there, all designed to make sure you get from A to profitable seller in as short a time as possible. Okay, wonderful. All right, well, let's go ahead and wrap things up, ladies and gentlemen. What we're going to do right now is pop in the link to our post-show survey for your final chance to win some goodies from Printify. 3 of you who fill out our survey to completion will be entered to be chosen at random to win $50 of Printify sales credit and a super cool, super awesome, super unique The Clicks to Riches Show t-shirt like you see on your screen. You can save it and re-gift it for the holidays, or wear it around and make everybody in your neighborhood super jealous.
You know what it reminds me of?
What?
It's like a shiny Pokemon.
Like
it's like a very special, very collectible shirt. I don't know if I'm dating myself with the reference, but it's just...
Okay,
so
well, keep that in mind. If you are wearing the shirt out there, someone might try to capture you in a tiny ball. Okay, so just be aware of that. All right, folks. Well, we're going to take a little summer hiatus from the Clicks to Riches show, and we're going to come back at the end of July. We hope you enjoy your summer. We hope you got something out of today's episode. Hope you're better off here at the end than you were at the beginning. You can put to work all this knowledge about embroidery, international fulfillment, all the branding options that are available, and take advantage of the wonderful opportunity that is Printful on Printify. Liz, do you have any last words for our audience?
Ooh, last words feels heavy. Mm-hmm. I mean, I remember starting out kind of like designing stuff on products. I put off trying embroidery for a very long time because it felt more unpredictable, because it felt more complicated and also more limiting and also more expensive. And I was just like, you know what? No, I'm not going to do that. Especially, I'm not a very good designer generally. I've been trying to learn and trying to get better, but overall, it was just too intimidating. My suggestion to everybody is to just go and look at all the resources that are available to you on the Printify side of things, on the Printful side of things, generally on the internet. Google, look it up, and follow the stuff step by step. There's so much information out there that is going to help you feel more at ease. And if you're really concerned that I don't know, whatever you create is not going to be good enough for your customers, get a sample, take a look at it. If you're going to like it, you're going to wear it. If you're not going to like it, you're going to find out exactly why you don't like it. So my recommendation is, this is such a unique and interesting and premium feeling technique. Try it. Just try it.
Yeah, and take advantage of the free digitization while it's still available. Get those get those designs in, get them digitized for free. Save yourself some time, save yourself some coin and effort, and just start. Just start. Mm-hmm. All right, folks. Well, that's it for us. We'll be back again in late July. Join me for my live Q&A sessions. And for everyone here at the Clicks to Riches show, on behalf of myself and Liz, thank you so much for joining us. You are now free to go along with the rest of your day. Bye, everyone.